have to have an hour where I give to myself. I have to have an hour where I fill myself up because I'm constantly being depleted everywhere I go. Everyone wants something. It's this, it's that, it's all the things.
So I'm super excited to be speaking with fragrance founder Octavia Morgan. So before we start, Octavia, I would love to know how you're feeling in this moment, PMS. So physically, mentally, and spiritually. You can go as deep or as not as you want to.
You know what? Right now, I'm just feeling extremely grateful to be here with you today on this platform. I'm feeling at peace because I said a little prayer before we connected today. And yeah, just feeling very like grounded in my body and ready for this chat.
So one of the things that I've found that has been like healing to me has been fragrance, especially after having children. I just my whole identity was focused with them. So I felt guilty about spending time with myself or doing things for myself. And the way that I started to recenter myself is by fragrance. The simplest thing was a shower. So taking a shower with like my smell goods and then taking a little second to then apply something that smells good. So I'm really, really excited to talk to you, especially because I think we don't talk enough about how healing just fragrance can be. Um,
Yes,
so I know your journey has been really interesting because you are a nurse.
yes.
So talk to me about the transition from nursing into being a fragrance founder.
This fragrance brand started almost 10 years ago. And it was because I started to develop fragrance sensitivity. And so went to the marketplace to find a clean or natural alternative and really couldn't find what I was looking for. So I was raised like, if you can't find it, then you make it, right?
Yeah.
You make it. That was kind of like my grandmother's philosophy. I had my science background, being a nurse, we take a lot of chemistry and
Mhm.
by, just all the things, all these science classes. But my grandmother was a herbalist, and I grew up in the kitchen with her, and she was making all of these concoctions and all of these working with these botanicals and plant extracts. And I kind of like put that together. The type of nurse I was a hospice and palliative care nurse.
Mhm.
So I dealt with a very vulnerable population, right? Extremely sensitive, but I still wanted to smell, I still wanted to have my smell goods. So when I would see my patients, two things I would do. I wear a bright pink lip, right? So I would wear like I had a uniform, my pink scrubs, black scrubs, but every time I came in, I would have this bright pink lip and I would always put on something to smell good, right? To kind of like lift the mood of my patients. And so my first fragrance that I ever created is called Legendary. And Legendary was created because I wanted to wear my fragrance for my patients, but I wanted something that was kind of non-offensive. I didn't want them to be too I didn't want it to come in the room and it waft and and my patients had these reactions like to the scent that I was wearing. I want something that was a little grounded, a little spicy,
Mhm.
woodsy, but very neutral. And so that was my first creation that I made. And it was really because of my background being a registered nurse.
You know what I like about your brand is that it's using like natural things. When I think about like a natural scent, I think of like just essential oil. So like tea tree oil, eucalyptus, and those have their place. But like to feel like sexy or sensual or to tell a story about how I want to feel that day, like I don't want to go to those things, but I still can smell good using your fragrances. I love that so much. So your first fragrance was Legendary.
Yes.
What is your first like fragrance memory, even in childhood? Because I feel like a lot of our childhoods set the foundations for our future, whether we know it or not.
So my mother comes from a big family,
Mhm.
right? A big family and lots of women. And so my grandmother's house was the house everyone would go to, when they would go to like these parties, these things, right? Everyone would come to my grandmother's house and they would get dressed. And I always remember as a little girl just looking up and they looked so beautiful and elegant and put together. But before they would leave, she would have fragrances like on the side table, and
Yep.
everybody would come and just spray their fragrance as the last little step before they left, right?
Mhm.
So as I got older, I was like, when I got dressed, I was like, okay, I want a fragrance. Where's my fragrance? I'm not done. And
Right.
so my first fragrance that I've ever got was a fragrance that they bought me was a fragrance called Tea Rose. And Tea Rose smelled like crushed roses. So with the Tea Rose, it gives me like memories of like family get together,
Mhm.
beautiful these beautiful women going out on the town, it gives me like such nostalgia.
So you were mentioning how one of your first like memories of scent was just like the finishing touches that the
Mhm.
women, like your mom, your aunties, grandma would do before they step out. Let's talk about just layering. So as people are learning about how to layer scents, what are some tidbits or some advice that you would give for us to take a fragrance that's available to the masses, but make it our own?
Great question. Right now, we're really leaning into layering. I love the concept of layering because you're actually becoming your own perfumer, right?
Mm.
You're creating this new scent. And especially now because with fragrance talk and just all the conversations, a lot of us are buying the same fragrances, but you don't want to smell like the
Yep.
person next to you.
Yep.
So layering really gives you a chance to customize your fragrance. Now, they have it's two different school of thoughts with the layering, right?
Mhm.
So for me, I like to layer using the with the heavier scent. So what I do is I lay my scents out and I smell which one is the heaviest scent. I put that one first, and then we go from medium to light. I always spray 2 spritzes of the heavy scent on my skin first, and then I come over with the next scent. Put 1 spritz of that. I let it settle, then I smell it. If I like it, I'm fine. Then I can go. If I want a little bit more, I spritz another spray of the lighter scent on top and let it sit, and then I go. And you have this beautiful combination that you've made, and it smells like no one else.
So if I'm using several different perfumes, so let's just say the bottle costs, I don't know, over $100, but now I'm using different ones, that can add up kind of quickly. Are there any other ways to kind of, yes, make the scent unique without having to like take out a loan?
You can use body oils, you can use body mist, you can use a more expensive fragrance and like you can layer it with a nice body oil. That's really nice. Those tend to be a little bit less expensive. And you can use these body mists that everyone is using right now. I think they're great. They're a little
Mhm.
bit lighter, so it may not last as long, you know, even with you using a EDP, a more like a heavier perfume-based perfume, but
Mhm.
you still get the beauty of concocting your own scent.
So I kind of want to go back to your journey going from nursing to now being a fragrance founder. I can imagine that making that pivot can be like emotionally taxing, maybe even financially. How did you navigate that transition?
That is such a great question. I meditate and pray every day at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? And in my meditations and prayers is where I get my answers, right? So before I decided to take the leap full time into Octavia Morgan, my answer came back that hey, you need to quit your job and go full force into this.
Mhm.
I was extremely hesitant. I was making great money,
Mhm.
right? I had a solid career. I have been doing this for at least 10 years, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to do this. So instead of working full time, what I started doing was taking contracts.
Mhm.
So I had one contract, and it was only supposed to last 3 months, but they end up extending the contract to me another 3 months. So the first 3 months, fine, I was fine with that. The second 3 months, I'm a very private person,
Mhm.
so I literally cried going to work and cried coming home
Mhm.
because I knew this was not what I was supposed to do.
Mhm.
I was supposed to do the other thing, but I was very much fearful
Sure.
of the uncertainty of the what ifs. I know that this is guaranteed.
Mhm.
Why can't I do both? I love God, but I wanted the bad ones that want to bargain with
Yeah.
what he tells me, right? So I'm like, why can't I do both? And that wasn't the answer I was getting back. The answer I was getting back was you have to do this full time. So after the contract was up, they wanted to extend again, and I said, hard stop, no.
Mhm.
My family thought I was out of my mind. They were like, "What is wrong with you? Like, what's going on?" And I was like, "No, I have to do this full time in order for us to get this brand where we need it to be. I have to be there full time in doing this work." And so I just kind of took a deep breath and I just put one foot in front of the other, and we just started being on that journey. And one of the quotes that just really stuck out for me was, what is it? A journey of a million miles starts with one step.
Yeah.
And so that's what I had to just keep telling myself. And another thing that stuck out to me and just replay over and over in my mind was, I love Tony Robbins, right? And one of the things that he says, sometimes you have to burn the ships. You have to burn everything to know that you can't go back. You can only go forward, right? And
Mhm.
so that gives you more drive, more push, more determination to get it done. Now, in hindsight, looking back, I could see why people thought like you're out of your mind. In essence, I'm like was a novice perfumer, right? I took some classes, read some books, got a mentor. I'm not formally trained. These people train for years to do what it is that I do, but I knew that I had something, an expression to get out of me, and I wanted to get it out and give it to the world, right?
Yeah.
And so I knew that, formal training or not, this God had given this to me, and I had to see it all the way through after I said yes.
Yeah. Ooh, that's powerful because that fear is so real. I think a lot of us have things that are on our hearts that we want to do, but that fear is crippling. So, hats off to you and to all the other people who really listen to their gut, listen to their God, and do the new thing, even despite the fear. That first step is always the hardest step.
It is, right? The first step is always the hardest. If you keep walking and you keep your head down and you just do what it is that you need to do, you'll be surprised how many things open up for you and how that fear is not even real. It's just all in your mind, right?
Hmm.
Things started unfolding for you in a way that I say that personally because for us to get to where we started to where we are now, I tell people this is above me. This is I worked hard. However, the things that have moved for us to get to be positioned where we are, I know it's above me, but also I know that I was very obedient,
Hmm.
even when it was hard. And
Hmm.
so that's a lot. That's another thing that we forget about. We forget about our word. When you say yes, when God gives you an assignment and you accept it, then you have to see it all the way through because you
Yeah.
gave your word.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you need to be obedient. Even when you don't even know sometimes it was days when I would be like, what is going on? Like, even if it's slow movement, you keep moving. I'm not saying all the time it's like a fast pace, right? It's
Hmm.
not always fast. Sometimes I tell people, when you're on your road, sometimes you're so weak because there's so many things that have happened. You're literally crawling on your belly, but you're
Yeah.
on the road.
Yeah.
Don't get off the road
Yeah.
because eventually you'll be able to get on your knees. You'll be able to stand. You'll be able to run.
Yep. Yep. A lot of times we think that success means that we are constantly sprinting, that like we're making really big, like giant leaps of progress consistently. And to your point, sometimes it's not. Like we might be moving, might be crawling little inch by inch, but it's still further than we were before. So I
Exactly.
appreciate that
The other thing
reminder.
is you have to believe. You have to believe in what it is that you're doing almost to the point where it's almost you're delusional. Even though you're not, because because when you're bringing something that you have in your mind and you're bringing it into this physical world, that takes a lot of power, a lot
Mm,
of intention, right? And you have to hold that because all those around you don't have your vision. The vision wasn't given to them, but they're here to support you through the process. So they have to feel your energy, they have to feel your drive, they have to feel that so that they can believe and they can help you continue to push your mission, whatever that mission is.
yeah. And you mentioned that you pray and you meditate every day. And I think a lot of times we don't consider those being wellness practices, right?
Mhm.
So outside of that daily prayer and meditation to like center yourself, to hear what's happening in your own mind and also to hear from God, what are some other ways that you pour back into yourself? Because I could imagine being a founder is intense. So what do you do to care for you?
So for me, I also do what they call qigong.
Mm,
So that is like it's like a movement. They call it a walk-in prayer, and I do that because it helps to move the energy through my body. So
mm,
that's like my little practice every day, like get up in the morning, meditate. I light candles, light incense, and I have a little area, I meditate. Then after I meditate, I pray. After I pray, then I do affirmations. I'm pouring into myself. I'm telling myself this is what, all the things. Then after I do that, then I'm sitting and I'm envisioning what it is that I want to happen for not just myself, but for my business, for anything that touches me. I am setting a vision. What is this that I envision? And I sit with it until I get the picture. Then after that, we're gonna do some movement. We're gonna do some qigong, and I have a little trainer now that I'm working with, and so now a couple of days a week I go and I exercise because again it's about movement, moving that energy, right? It's about moving that energy so that we can hear where we need to be guided, because I think that that's what it's all about. And as you become a woman of a certain age, it really becomes about it. What we take for granted is we don't really take care of our body, right?
yeah.
And when you're building something, it's very intense, even if it's not like you're not physically out there like laying bricks, but you are physically like creating this thing, and it's taking so much energy and power. And how do you move that energy and power so it's not stagnant and it's constantly moving? And I know it seems like it's a lot of things to do, what I do in the morning, but literally it takes an hour out of my day. It's 24 hours in a day. I have to have an hour where I give to myself.
Yeah.
I have to have an hour where I fill myself up because I'm constantly being depleted everywhere I go. Everyone wants something. It's this, it's that, it's all the things, right? Because not only am I a CEO, a founder, I'm also a wife. I'm
Mhm.
also a sister, a friend. I'm all of these, I'm all the things to all the people. So I have to make sure that I fill myself up
Mhm.
be
Mhm.
first, and
Mhm.
I set the tone by being loving to myself, by being
Yeah.
compassionate to myself, right? By showing myself that kindness,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
then
Yeah.
I'm able to start my day.
Yeah, and an hour is so feasible for most of us, right? If not all of us. And I think especially as Black women, we tend to self-sacrifice. So because we want to show up as good women and show up as good wives and sisters and members of our community, we think, well, we'll put ourselves completely last, dead last, and whatever
Mhm.
scraps I have to give to myself is what I'll give to myself. But no, to your point, to be the best version of ourselves, we have to be kind and love on ourselves. And that's something that I'm still actively working on. Like I know it in my head, makes perfect sense, but for whatever reason, I have a hard time consistently applying it. Every time I'm in my routine of meditating and praying in the morning, things feel better. Like the way that I move throughout the world is much more productive and kind and loving and all the things. But for whatever reason, I don't stick to it because I'm just like, well, no, I should get up early, but not take care of me, take care of the kids and do this other thing and work. And so I'm really grateful that you said that because I know it's not only a reminder to me, but to the people who are listening as well, because we're very much alike in so many ways.
You listen, it's just, you know what? It just becomes a habit, right? I'm not saying that it's not hard. Some days, I lay in the bed, and you
Mhm.
know what I do? I'm not up in my little in my space that I have, right? Sometimes I lay in the bed, and you know what? When it's those days, I literally have my little headphones, and I literally put my headphones on and just do a meditation. Like
Mm.
it has to be so intentional with the way that I take care of myself. And I have to do that because maybe like 2 years, like yeah, almost 2 years ago, when we were really like, it was like a lot going on this journey. I got really sick,
Mm.
right? I went to doctors. I went to Chinese, traditional Chinese medicine doctors. I went to so many healing people, and none of them could help me because it wasn't anything physically wrong with me. It was the stress and
Yeah.
the pressure that I was carrying.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Someone told me, this is going to kill you.
Mm.
And do you want to die?
Yeah.
Because I had to really have that hard conversation with myself. Like, are you, do you want to die? And I was like, I don't want to die. And it was like, so you have to take care of yourself. You have to start pouring back into yourself. All the
Mm-hmm.
things that get depleted, because we can't help life be life in.
Truly.
Like, it be
Mm-hmm.
life in, okay?
Yep.
Things happen. I always tell people it's the contrast. I have so many beautiful things that happen, but along with these beautiful things, I can tell you extremely detrimental things that were going on at the same time. So it doesn't stop, right?
Yeah.
Life don't stop. So how do you navigate this life in a graceful and joyful and appreciative way?
Mm-hmm.
It starts with you.
There's so much that's outside of our control, but what we can control, we have to control. So, to your point, the time and where do we focus our time and our energy and making ourselves a priority.
You know why? Because when you're a woman and when we're women and we're ascending in our careers and we have all of these beautiful things, we'll say, oh, we'll do that next time. Yeah, I
Yep.
was doing this, but we'll do this next time. I'll
Yep.
do that next time. And one of the things that we teach not just our kids, our mates, our family, our friends how to treat us, is how we treat ourselves. And then how do you teach your children? Because I heard that you said that you have kids.
Mm-hmm.
How do you teach them how to self-regulate? How do
Mm.
you teach them when these things come up? How do they center their self?
Mm-hmm.
Because I asked my kid, "You meditated?" So my son, my kids are adults, so my son and my daughters, they come sometime to visit, and they'll get up in the morning and they know what time it is. They get right into it. I'm like, okay, we're doing a meditation because this is going to help them in the long run as well.
Yep.
And a lot of people in our community, they it's not what we say, it's they emulate what it is that they do. When people see that you have that peace, you have that joy, you're centered, they want to know, what are you doing? And when
Yep.
you say, hey, this is what I'm doing, I can give you this. My favorite thing I give, honey, is two things. I give books, and baby, I give meditations. Everybody knows it.
I
I
love
will
it.
send you a meditation, and I will send you a self-help book.
I
Like,
love it. I love it. I mean, what's more like there's nothing more valuable than like what's up here, right? So of
exactly.
course, you giving them like the gift of clarity of mind, of peace, of all of those things.
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna steal that. So now I'd love to do a little rapid fire round. So what is an unexpected scent that you love?
So I love a good oud fragrance. Even though it's
Yeah.
powerful and it's all the things, I love a oud, and I love a oud, a good balanced oud on women. I feel like it wears so
Mm.
beautifully and very sexy on a woman. I love a oud with a little spice in it. It's very unexpected,
Mhm.
but on women, it's so sexy.
Ooh, nice. um, what would your quote soft life scent notes be?
So my soft note scent, it would be what I have. My soft life, it would be my what I have in my midnight orchard. A little peach, a little Szechuan pepper, a little vanilla, a little sandalwood, creamy with a little bit of sweetness to
Ooh.
it.
What's the most nostalgic scent in your collection?
For me, it would be dark rose. And that's because when I created that scent, I wanted to create a scent that was unapologetically sexy.
Mhm.
I feel like we always are apologizing for everything, and I just wanted a scent that was in your face. It didn't apologize, and as it evolves, it gets moodier and sexier and sensual. And I love that scent, and I love how it wears not just on women but on men too.
Mhm.
And it's just one of those scents that it's just a compliment gift. It just gathers compliments. Everywhere you go, you're going to get a compliment.
I love it. As we wrap up, I would love to know, because, we're approaching the holiday season where people are thinking about buying gifts for loved ones and for themselves. Um, if you had to recommend, and this is like a blanket recommendation to the woman listening to this podcast, what would you recommend as like her introduction to Octavia Morgan fragrances?
So my holiday recommendation for Octavia Morgan would be to get our 8-piece discovery set. That's on octaviamorgan.com. And we have a 4-piece discovery set on Ulta Beauty.com. And my other recommendation would be to get Dark Rose. That scent is bold and beautiful and sexy, and it's great for this time of year. It's going to get you so many compliments, and that's for men and for women. And my last recommendation would be our Vanilla Supreme. That one is amazing. That's all year round, day, night, and it's amazing for layering.
So thank you so much, Octavia. Is there anything you'd like to leave the audience with before you go?
I feel like if you have a passion, and even though it seems like it's unobtainable, just even if you do take an hour out of your day every day to do something to feed that passion, to feed that business, to feed whatever that is, take that hour and pour into what it is that you want to do, no matter what it is. And you're going to see it grow in fruition and just grow in abundance, right? Nothing is out of reach for anyone. I am living proof that if I can do it, that you can do whatever it is that you set your mind to, but you have to give yourself an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, even if you don't have 30 minutes to an hour, to pour into whatever it is that you want to do.
Thank you so much, Octavia. So outside of your website and Ulta Beauty to purchase the fragrances, is there anywhere else that the people can find you online?
So just our website, octaviamorgan.com. And then we are in over 700 Ulta Beauty stores. Nice. And we have a store locator on our website.
Awesome. And thank you so much for your time and just for your spirit. Like, I love your energy, and you gave me a lot of food for thought that I need to apply to my life. So thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening to this episode of Be Well Sis. If you'd like to get in touch with us, there's a link in the show notes. Be Well Sis is hosted by me, Dr. Cassandra Dunbar, and produced by Edit Audio. Don't forget to hit follow so you never miss an episode. Until next time, be well, sis.